It's game 2 of a twin bill here in Duluth, Minnesota, as the Huskies take on the Eau Claire Express for the second time here today on this beautiful Wednesday evening. I'm Kyle Morrison here with Wyatt Kopelman. And Wyatt, well, for game 1 did not go the way the Huskies wanted. How do the Huskies change things going into game 2?
Well, you certainly have to be more focused on jumping ahead early. A glaring problem for the Huskies over this last week, facing a very tough St. Cloud Rocks team. Albeit the Huskies did not come back from a 4-run deficit that eventually ballooned into an 8-run lead for the Eau Claire Express. You really have to be sure that you're getting more out of your starting hitters. Speaking
of game 1, let's go check out the highlights for that game as we get you set for game 2.
Top of the first inning, Joe York, the designated hitter, with a two-run RBI single. Then it passed it off to Jonathan Vastine. Meanwhile, a 5-3 double play. Burns strikeout. A couple of the defensive highlights here for the Huskies.
Yeah, and after that 2-run single, it looked like Eau Claire was going to score even more, but fortunately, Jonathan Vastine with a nice defensive play there, a 5-3 double play, and then Mason Burns with a strikeout to get him out of the inning, limiting the damage to only 2.
And a couple of excellent plays from the Eau Claire side of the diamond as well. J.J. Peace flashing the leather with his glove right on the mound, but meanwhile, Christian Campbell, an RBI single. That's what he does best for the Huskies with 2 of those RBI hits today.
Yeah, that made it 2-1, but as I was talking about, the Eau Claire Express continuing to come back with more and more. Sam Hunt there with a base hit to make it 3-1. Eau Claire was not done scoring in that inning either, as York, he comes up again, Joe York, to pick up another RBI on a walk there from Mason Burns, and just like that, it was 4-1 Eau Claire.
The Huskies, meanwhile, would continue to fall into a bigger hole as well. Jake Sapien able to scorch a double into left field. That would make it 6-1 in favor of the Express. Christian Campbell would offer an answer, but not before Bobby Blandford as well, and that made it a little bit of a ball game for quite some time.
Yeah, this is when the Huskies started to show some signs of life. That Bobby Blandford single to make it 6-2, and then Christian Campbell with this single to make it 6-3. At this point, you're starting to think, okay, maybe the Huskies can get back in this thing, but give Eau Claire credit. Despite that RBI single there from Christian Campbell, they came back right away, and this is just a thang off the bat of Sapien to make it 7-4. Some bad luck there for Duluth.
Not your common RBI either. A 7-4 lead for Eau Claire with the bases loaded. They would continue to capitalize. Reed Latimer pushing one past Campbell into center field, making it a 5-run deficit for the Huskies. The Eau Claire Express continuing to capitalize with runners in scoring position and 1 out. Then moving on into that 6th inning, a little bit of a sacrifice fly, but first, an Eau Claire nice grab in left field. An excellent play. Meanwhile, Peyton Powell with an E3 later on. That would score another Eau Claire run. The Huskies, that kind of day on the defensive side.
Yeah, that is just a rough play there all the way around for Powell. You could tell he was disappointed in himself on that one. Just inexplicable sometimes. And then Daryl Johnson Jr. finishing the runs here for Eau Claire with a walk, something that he struggled with all year long as the Huskies end up falling to that score. All right, now let's look at the pitching matchup for Game 2 of this doubleheader. The visiting Eau Claire Express will be sending Will Rizzo out of Texas A&M. The Duluth Huskies will be sending Caden Edwards out of North Dakota State. Will Rizzo coming off a bad start, a third of an inning, 3 earned runs given up to La Crosse on July 22nd. And then Caden Edwards coming off a scoreless inning against the St. Cloud Rocks on July 24th. This is actually his first start of the year.
Well, and you have to be excited to see this kind of pitching matchup. Will Rizzo coming off of his freshman campaign at Texas A&M did not see action there, and he's already faced the Huskies order once this season at Carson Park, pitching 3 innings in relief in that 9-0 victory for Eau Claire. That set the Huskies off on a bad start to that 8-game road stand. Meanwhile, looking at Caden Edwards, he actually had 9 strikeouts over his first 3 relief outings. He'll be looking to achieve that same kind of feat here today.
Caden Edwards has yet to give up a run here at Wade Stadium. He's going to try and keep that trend going here today as the Huskies try to win their first game against the Eau Claire Express. Currently, they are 0-5 and find themselves 4.5 games back overall to the Express in the Great Plains East. After the break, we're going to have lineups for you. We're going to set up the pitching matchup again, and we will have first pitch. So happy to have you with us here for Game 2 of this day-night doubleheader. You're watching the Northwoods League Baseball Network.